Hello, everyone. This is Tawanda. I hope you all having a productive week. This week, I'm going to speak about documentation. Last week's video on documentation gave me ideas about how the Barry Robinson Center processed their documentations. Just a quick reminder, the Barry Robinson Center is my placement, of course, but it's a treatment facility for adolescent youth. Okay, documentation is needed for many different reasons. We have to document our sessions, whether it is an individual or group therapy. The session documentation serves as evaluation process for the insurance company. Every insurance company has their own requirements, such as how many individual or group sessions of residents is to receive. So to show how these requirements are being met is through our documentation. The Barry Robinson Center has a case manager who oversees all documentations and forms. So she goes through the clinical department. She proofreads for grammar and spelling. She makes sure all information is included for the insurance company's requirements. Also, all documentation has to be turned in within 72 hours of the session. So as long as I get my documentations into the case manager within 72 hours, if it needs correction, then that doesn't count within the 72 hours. It's getting it from the documentation is coming from you to the case manager. Go through the admin and then the case manager, but all that has to be done within 72 hours. My process has an extra step due to me working under an MSW. Once I have a session, I type my documentation on BRC's standard electronic form. I print it, sign it, then I submit it to my supervisor who proofreads it and she signs it and dates it also. Then the documentations go through admin. So the session is logged in and the insurance companies can be billed. Next, the documentation is sent to the case manager with both signatures. So it's both signatures dated and all the information on the form is filled in. On the form, it's not only just documentation, it has like what type of session it is, whether it's group, whether it's individual, whether it's a special group or anything like that. You're supposed to check the boxes off. Also, on your session, you're supposed to write what is your session helping the client. Like if the client has anger management, so you're supposed to write if your session is for anger management or anything, or self-esteem or anything like that. The form has its own verbiage also. Whenever I write a residence goal, I have to write how that goal will be met. For example, Sam will have 0 incidents within a 7-day period, AEB, as evidenced by implementing his coping skills and taking space when needed. So what I'm saying is Sam will have 0 incidents within a 7-day period as evidenced by he's going to implement his coping skills and take space. So that's going to allow him to have 0 incidents within a 7-day period if he implements his coping skills. When writing, I have to be mindful of negative verbiage. The documentation should be written as goal-oriented. All documents are kept electronically for all therapists to have access. So that goes for the doctor's documentations, another therapist's documentations, the evals that they have. All of this is electronically saved on the computer, like on the R drive. So I have access to go and read somebody's assessments or, like I said, the eval, the doctor's assessment, and things of that sort. So my question to you guys is, how are your documentations are being corrected? Thank you.